Hey, college football fans, Jordan Reid here once again for the next episode of my Reading Between the Lines series, where I'll talk about some things that caught my eye. We had the week 6 of college football action, and man, was it an exciting one. And I have to start at the top. Down goes number 1. Alabama was finally defeated, and it seemed like for the first time in forever. And there was a lot of firsts that happened in this game between Alabama and Texas A&M. Texas A&M and head coach Jimbo Fisher, he becomes the first assistant to defeat Nick Saban. Saban was 24-0 prior to this point. Jimbo Fisher gets a huge win for not only the program, but just for the team in general. And there were so many players that stepped up in this game. But my biggest takeaway from this one is that the 2019 recruiting class for Texas A&M, which was Jimbo Fisher's very first one there when he was at Texas A&M, was absolutely phenomenal. And just to go through some of the players that were included in that class, the Marvin Leal, we see that he's a top 10 consensus player on the first TDN big board. And once our updated big board comes out, he's still going to be up there in that top 10 consensus. Running back Isaiah Spiller, who had plenty of plays in this one. Anaya Smith, who's another player that really stood out in this game. But also Kenyon Green, the very versatile offensive lineman up front, where we saw him playing everything from left guard to left tackle, which he had to do just because he was the only returning starter amongst the bunch coming back this year. So him playing with 4 brand new people beside him, he's really stood out amongst this group. But that 2019 recruiting class really was the catalyst in this game. And I didn't even mention safety Damani Richardson, who had a standout interception against Bryce Young in this one too. So that 2019 recruiting class really stood out to me, and it was the biggest reason why Texas A&M took home the 41-38 victory on a last-second field goal. Now, transitioning to a position that I think has been very hot and cold this year, and we've been really spoiled with very talented quarterback classes over the past few years, and even going back to last year with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and then also Mac Jones being the 5 quarterbacks that went in the first round a year ago. I have no idea what quarterbacks are going to go in the first round this year. Malik Willis is starting to catch steam. He's really starting to hit his stride, but he had 3 interceptions last week against Middle Tennessee. Sam Howell struggled against Florida State, and then we saw Spencer Rattler get benched in the Red River Showdown against Texas. So this quarterback class is all over the place. But one player that had consistently continued to play well throughout the year is Nevada quarterback Carson Strong. He gets 6 touchdown passes last week, and he played a big part in getting the victory, putting up 55 points in the game last week. So this quarterback class is really all over the place right now. I really don't know where to gauge it or where to start with it right now. I don't know who's going to go in the first round. So that is the big thing with this quarterback class right now. And I think there's going to be so many different as far as orders, as far as how teams are going to have them ranked on their board. So what I'm really looking forward to seeing at year's end and then going into the pre-draft process and then what happens during the first and the second day of the draft is really how this quarterback class unravels. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's edition of Reading Between the Lines. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Draft Network on YouTube and stay tuned for more content throughout the college football season.